Hi, I'm Dan Laughlin with HyprMX, and we're at the Pocket Gamer Connects event in San Francisco. I'm with Josh Bakken from Tapas. Thanks for joining us today, Josh.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so Tapas plays a pretty unique role in kind of the mobile app world. Tell us a little bit about the app for those who aren't familiar.
Yeah, sure. So we're an open publishing platform, primarily for web comics and novels as well.
Right.
We're global, and so anybody with any aspirations for writing the next big novel or creating the next, illustrated franchise, like the next Marvel, they can go to Tapas, they can host their stuff for free, they can start to build their audience and their IP, and yeah, that's kind of what we're all about.
So at HyprMX, we've had the pleasure of helping you bring rewarded video into your platform. And I know before Tapas, you worked in the games industry. Tell me a bit about that experience and how it led to you introducing that new monetization strategy.
Yeah, so I first started at EA, working on EA.com way back in the day. It doesn't exist anymore. And then I started working for other companies like Hasbro Interactive. I first got into free-to-play with a company called Area Games back in 2008. And that was my first experience with free-to-play. And we didn't really have any rewarded video of any sort. And it would have been great to have back in the day. So I guess those were my first kind of understanding of the demand for virtual currency and how powerful that demand is.
So Tapas is not a game company, but here we are at a gaming conference. Tell us why you're here.
Yeah, so we're here primarily for two reasons. So the first one is we have an internal program where we help app developers gain access to our community. And then the second reason we're here, and it's maybe even bigger than the first, is just letting developers know that Tapas exists as a platform. So we are this with this resource of IP. So for instance, if you're a developer, like an indie developer, let's say, and you're building a new game, and you want to focus on the mechanics of the game, you want to focus on the fun of the game, and if you just making kind of generic characters for the game to kind of have those things work, I'm here just to let people know that you don't necessarily have to do that. You can come to Tapas, take a look at the IP that's on the platform, and if something jumps out at you like, oh, we don't have to develop these dating whatever, there's a story right there that talks about a relationship and it's already been built and it has a fan base, and then come talk to us and we can kind of build that bridge between the creator of the IP and your studio for a game.
And for monetization for those titles, is that something you get involved in, or is that again up to the developer to kind of figure out the best fit for the IP?
Right, currently we want the developer to have the freedom to publish the game, so it would be published as a developer's game, and they would also handle monetization to the best ways that they see fit.
So gamers love comics, right? There's a great intersection between the two interests. Tell us about something that's kind of up and coming, or maybe a comic that's on Tapas that most of us haven't heard about yet that we should go check out.
Some of the newer ones that we have and that I could recommend is Cheshire Crossing. I don't know if you're familiar with the author Andy Weir. He wrote The Martian, and he had an old series, an old webcomic series that he did, and it was just kind of gathering dust and he wasn't really doing anything with it. So we took one of our premier artists and she went and reworked his previous webcomic, and the art and the coloring is just absolutely amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right.